What are you into these days? Martial arts?
Weapons from martial arts.
So what
mainly.
happened? What happened recently that has changed why you love martial arts?
To be honest, I don't even know. I just like doing it. I think it's the one thing when I'm bored, it's my go-to hobby. Or if I have something on my mind, or if I'm just mad and I just want to let it out, or if I just want to do something because I'm bored, I'll just use weapons and just practice because I just love doing it.
So, like, I've known you for a few years now, and I've seen you do things like baseball and basketball and band and Boy Scouts and stuff, and like none of them, you never really took any of them that serious. It was just kind of like hanging out with friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So what is it about martial arts that you think is that different? Is it just because like you find yourself naturally good at it, so it's like your confidence is up, or?
I feel like, well, I have had past experience, and I feel like it takes a lot of focus and just clearing your mind and focusing on one thing and focusing on how to make it better. So like martial arts, the only way I got to state was one, when it comes to remembering moves or certain things at a certain level, at like a specific point, then I start to remember it better. So like if he's just telling me do a high kick, it's like, okay, I can do that. If he's telling me, okay, pivot your left foot at a certain angle, and if you push down, you could get the kick higher, that certain stuff, I remember that stuff, and it helps me do better at it. So it's just the reason I like it better is the fact that there's so much to pay attention to and so much to just tweak and have fun with. I think that's what I enjoy most about it, is it's not there's a certain way to do it. It's just make it better. Yeah. It's just make it better, practice, that's all there is to it.
Okay. So I've noticed too that martial arts seems to be something that's like self-development. It's not about the team and like every player having a certain role, and like maybe you're not the star player, but there is a star player, and like you guys win things as a team. This is like a really individual thing. And even band, while band is like super individual and you can get good at your instrument, it's still about like the whole team thing.
Yeah, and like you have to pause and then wait for someone else to play something, and after that I'm playing, you start playing again.
Yeah.
So
this
it
is
really
like
is
all
a team
you.
effort.
So I think, does that have something to do with maybe why you're more interested in it?
Well, yeah, I feel like whenever I do something, if I do it alone, I feel like I can do it better because I'm not depending on other people. I hate having to depend on other people. It's just not my thing. I like doing it my own way. Yeah, I'm an only child.
The whole patience
I feel
thing.
like if I do it, then I can get it done better because it's doing it my way. Like if I see somebody doing my job, doing my chores like the wrong way, I'll be like, it's so irritating. But if I just do it, I feel better about it because I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
It's like the whole, yeah, maybe that's why I like it better. I don't know.
So after state, you went up a belt, and like now you guys are doing weapons training?
We'll be doing weapons. Well, we really start using weapons legally in 8th grade.
Legally?
Yeah, legally.
Like you're not allowed at a certain age to
I mean, not like against the law, but against the rules of basic belt ranks.
Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris Kickstart, yep. Not sponsored. But yeah, you can bring your own weapons. You can practice at home. It's not like a certain limit. But like at tournaments, there's only certain belt ranks and certain ages you have to be to do certain weapons and certain things.
Yeah.
But I feel like, ever since I picked up a stick, I practice with long sticks that I find on the ground. I just do it. I'll turn like guns into staffs, like sniper rifles, like for Nerf guns, and just like twirl them around, hit somebody in the face with the back of it. It's fun. I like doing it.
So you like staffs? Is like staff the weapon that you want to develop yourself? Staff. No, not like swords or not. What are the little like Grim Reaper hook?
Commas.
They're called what?
Commas.
Because they make a comma. That's pretty original.
No, it's no. I think it's KAMA.
Okay.
Comma.
But like of all the weapons, staff's definitely the coolest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were. I think when I was younger and I did kung fu, I think those were the weapons they first introduced me to. No, it was actually spears. They introduced me to. I cannot talk. They introduced me to spears, and I would always just like. I wouldn't stab people like you're supposed to with spears. I would always find like more joy in like twirling it around and like hitting people with it. I was just like it was really fun.
Like
so
they
put me in
artistic
staffs.
kind of nature to it.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And so they put me into staffs, and I picked up like that. Like I enjoyed doing it. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to stay into kung fu. I was a blue belt at like age 7. It was pretty cool. But then we ran out of time, and we eventually ran out of money and focus, and we just weren't able to do it anymore. Yeah. So I think that's one of the main reasons I joined Kickstart, is to kind of continue what I started when I was younger.
That's cool. Okay, so let's get into something like more philosophical. That was pretty cool.
Let's talk about your introduction to George Carlin last weekend, and especially his bit about kids and parents. And how kids are not
interested.
Special,
I don't think I've watched this.
And about how parents just need to leave their kids alone, and kids should daydream for 3 hours a day.
Please, I like preschool.
Scheduled play dates. Playing has to be on a schedule now.
I know, right?
So go off on that.
So I feel like every time I want to have a sleepover, every time I want to have like a hangout at my friend's house, it has to be on a schedule. And I mean, I get it. Parents want it to fit in with all of our days, but I feel like it's for the parents mainly. They have to fit it into their work schedule or what they want to do, but they're not thinking about, I mean, the whole reason that I'm going to their house is because of what me and my friend want to do, not their schedule. So if you have to go to work the next morning and I'm going to a friend's house, why do I have to stay home? I'm not going to work with you. I'm going to a friend's house. They have parents there. I don't see the problem.
All right.
Like, why does it have to fit to their schedule? It's stupid.
a lot of times, like, if a parent doesn't trust the other parents, then like having a responsible person there is like kind of a big deal.
Screw the other parents. We'll stay at our house.
Well, no,
we have the dogs.
Like, you're far more mature than a lot of 12-year-old kids. Like, I know that I can leave you at home for an entire day, and the worst you're gonna do is like sit and play video games. You know, like, I know you're not gonna go start playing with matches and try to like shoot through the roof. And
hey man, I've done that before.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I have a different level of comfortability with you just being home. But there's some kids that you play with that I don't necessarily like the parents, because I see how they raise their kid, and I'm like, I don't want my kid in that environment. And so, like, there's a certain element of that.
Well, take me out of the environment. You trust me, right?
Well,
you trust me with my friends at your house.
You, but I don't necessarily trust that friend coming over here. And
why not? Because how they were raised with their parents.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Like, if I have a gun in my house and you just happen to be like, dude, you got to go check my dad's gun out, and this kid's just like, oh yeah, you know, like, it's just a stupid fucking thing for a parent to do, to like just leave all that responsibility when there's like a level of maturedness to it.
We don't always have to be inside the house. You can tell us to stay outside.
Yeah, dude. When I was a kid, like, my parents worked constantly, so there wasn't play dates, but like I kind of lived out in the country too. But my mom would just be like, go outside and ride your dirt bike. Like, get hurt, I don't give a fuck. Go climb a tree, go like...
Now I see where you get it from.
Climb, you know, go swim in a river. Like, we just kind of roamed as kids. And it was just more expected. Like, we all rode our bikes like 2 or 3 miles to school, you know. It was kind of a normal thing.
Parents need that on a schedule.
Well, I think parents nowadays just tend to like guard their children a lot more.
Yeah, I think we're way too
You guys have to
overprotective.
have
I think we're way
bumpers.
too overprotective.
It's like, oh my God, don't let them hear a bad word, and don't ever let them say a cuss word, and like just
And vaccinate them.
what?
That's another thing we should get into.
Oh, whether or not vaccination's a good thing?
Vaccinate your kid, and then your child's immune system doesn't ever pick up those antibodies.
Exactly.
What happens when the super flu comes? And that's a little conspiratorial, but
Hey, it's really likely.
I don't get vaccinations and
Right.
flu shots and shit like that. Like my body.
And how many times have you gotten the flu?
I don't know.
I get a cold every year on the dot, like right at fall, but my body fights it, and I get through it.
Yeah, my whole life
Think
I've
about
just
colds.
like gotten sick, and my body's
Yeah.
learned, as it's supposed to, how to get over a disease.
I've had so many vaccinations and so many shots and like nasal things and eardrops. Like every time I get a cold, it lasts throughout the year and more. So I had the cold in springtime last year. I just got done with my allergies last week.
The cold and allergies are different.
Or
Like,
yeah,
and
sorry, not allergies.
there's a couple elements for you. Like, you're a redhead, so you're like the least perfect person on the planet.
You're not the first person to tell me that.
You're a kid, and you're around other disgusting little kids that don't wash their hands and like dig in like dog poop, and they're like, you guys get, like kids are just disgusting people, and so there's just like sneezing on each other's like hands and like wiping it on their faces and like itching
Another
their
stereotype.
butt and, like, yeah.
For one, and two,
I'm kidsist, not racist. I'm childish.
it'd make more
childist.
sense if you said ageist, but whatever.
I don't hate old people. It's
Because a
just
kid is just an entitlement. It's about your age. It's not about what you actually are. It's an entitlement to the number of how long you've been on this planet, right?
pretty much. Yeah, it has nothing to do with like maturity level or life experience.
Your brain is.
Right.
Well, when
it
you get to
seems like
25, your brain fully develops. So when you get to like 80, you're considered a senior citizen. But your brain...
I hate that term. Let's talk about that.
Okay, but like, hold on.
Senior citizen?
Hold on, think about this. So, like, if you're considered a senior citizen, your brain didn't grow at all. So how come your name did?
Your brain's shrinking. Wait,
Exactly.
why did your name grow?
Brain.
Say that again. That whole sentence didn't make sense in my head.
We'll edit that out. So, if you're changing their name because of their maturity level,
Their name? Who's changing people's names?
no, senior citizen to adults, to like those kind of names.
Oh, you're calling them senior citizens.
Yeah.
You're changing. Okay.
She's saying that you change those titles, labels.
There we
labels,
go.
There you go. Labels. You're changing those labels because of maturity, brain development. But when you get from when you get from 79 to 80, your brain doesn't grow at all. What is your label? I don't see why
I don't
we do
know.
that.
The cutoff is 64 to 65.
You know, like
This-
once
in
you
this country,
retire,
you hit 65,
it's
you're
senior
a
citizen. It's
Well,
not
that's-
79
yeah.
to 80, but either way, yeah, it's like we're afraid to just call people old. You know?
Exactly. There's only like another thing
Political
from that comedian.
correctness. Oh, they have to be.
It's like, we will start the pre-boarding session now. What does that mean? You board before you board? We're starting the boarding.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Passengers are approved to get on the plane. I'm not going to get on the plane. I'm going to get in the plane. You will get on the plane. It's much
yeah.
less drafty in here.
As somebody who's old, would you rather be called a senior citizen, or would you rather just be like, dude, I'm fucking old? You know, like don't patronize me. I haven't
Exactly,
lived
you're-
an entire lifetime to be called this like I'm a senior
Senior
citizen. Unless you're
citizen.
like old and you're, not very confident about the fact that you're old and you're like hating that you're old. You'd rather be called a
AKA
senior
old people that are
citizen.
insecure.
Yeah.
Right, and the term seniority just means like the oldest of the tribe, like who has the most experience, because not in this culture, but in other cultures, the oldest people, they're the ones who are the wisdom givers. Like they're the people on the council who, if somebody steals a chicken, somebody cheats on somebody else with somebody else, you go to the seniors because they have the most experience. They have the most data in their internal processing unit to be able to flesh out who stole the chicken. Why did you cheat on your wife? So it's not...
You totally just farted, by the way.